Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And this week on Basketball Heads Live, we are celebrating women all week long, starting with this basketball head, who is an FDR high school basketball standout. After no college offers, she pursued the military. But as a certified baller, she was driven back to the game, not as a player, but as a coach. She became head coach of Bklyn Prospect High School and led them to their first championship in school's history in 2017. This made them the NYSAA Sports League City Champs. The NYSAA Sports League was founded by my guy, Dwayne Cumberbatch. But when it comes to high school coaches, you have to put this basketball head as one of the best. With a basketball program boasting back-to-back JV champions, she will be in the running for the top spot in the NYSAA League for years to come. This one right here is personal because it was my Martin DePaula's Monarchs that she defeated in 2017. Yes, great game. Without further ado, help me welcome to the show Bklyn Prospect High School head coach, Victoria Matos.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
You are
How you doing?
I love your intro.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Oh man, it's well deserved.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Want to say welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Introduce you to my guy, our resident artist, Jamel Powell.
Nice. Hi, Jamel? Is that his name?
Yeah, he got his music on, so he can't really hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can't disturb him while he's doing his artwork, so.
No.
But I know whatever he's drawing, because I didn't see it yet, whatever he's drawing is going to be very nice.
Ah, okay.
Yes, this is what we like to do for our guests. So, I'll get right to it. Who introduced you to the game?
What, like growing up?
Yeah, basketball, yeah.
My dad introduced me to the game. He taught me the game. He was basically my coach and my trainer, all of it. So he's the one that handed me the basketball. And
Nice.
After that.
Okay. Where in Brooklyn did you grow up?
In Park Slope area, Bergen Street, President Street, over there.
Okay. Cool. So, do you remember the first team you was on?
My first team, my high school team. That's where it started with me.
Okay.
You know, I wish I would have taken basketball a little bit more serious back in my day, but high school was definitely my first team. I made the varsity team my freshman year,
Wow.
which was amazing. But that was like my first solid team, and then after that, you know, my coaches had us in tournaments and.
Well, that's awesome. Let me say that to make that varsity team in your 9th grade year is not easy to do. So salute to you.
Thank you.
For sure. Yep. So before that, did you look up to any basketball players coming up? Did you have any favorites?
Not really. It's I really didn't. I didn't really have. Michael Jordan was like the person back then. But I was just playing for fun. I didn't really understand like the game. I just knew like I had fun playing this. So I didn't really watch the game like I should have, or, you know, it probably would have made me enjoy the game a little bit more. But, you know, Jordan was it. He was the talk of the town back then. but there was no one I really looked up to
Okay,
back then.
that's okay. That's all right. So I guess you didn't pattern your game behind anyone. You just was just whatever coach taught you. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that was it. Whatever my dad taught me or whatever my coaches needed at the
Right.
moment is what I was.
Okay, okay. So you felt like you could have accomplished a little bit more in high school if you'd have put your mind to it, knowing what you know now.
Oh man, definitely coaching now. I see the big picture of it. I wish I would have known more. But you know, my dad played it growing up, so he just introduced it to us to keep us busy after school. And I didn't really understand what really went into playing at the next level or playing to really get your reps in. You know, for me, it was just I was focused on the season, and then we did summer basketball, like all the extra stuff that all the kids are doing now, playing all year.
Right.
I didn't really have that growing up, but which is why, you know, I'm so focused on getting these kids to really understand the importance of being an all-around player and getting yourself in front of the right people and all that. So it's definitely different from what I grew up. Social media has changed the game of basketball.
Made the world a little bit closer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So did you guys do well after y'all while you was there?
We did. Never really. We didn't make it to the playoffs. There's, you know, just we had good teams. The first year, my varsity, my first year there was the best team that we had, and then after that, after the players graduated, you know, the coach went to another school, so it was just, you know, regular season stuff. Never made the playoffs after that. My senior year, I played for a little bit, but then I decided to focus on working.
Gotcha.
So, you know, that was that for that year.
That freshman year, who was like the best player on that team?
This girl named Squeak. She was top scorer. She made 1,000 points that year. So she was someone I looked up to, and someone, you know, if you want to say someone I looked up to and trying to monitor my game, it was after her. She was point guard, combo guard actually, and she was pretty dope.
Salute to her. Salute to her. Squeak. Salute to you. Squeak, definitely. Yeah. So what did you do after high school?
I went to the military straight after high school. I had to get out of New York City. I was a knucklehead.
All right. Well, where are some of the places you traveled at, and what are some of the things you learned while in the military?
I learned leadership there. You know, one of the first questions that my training instructor asked one of the first days of boot camp was, you know, who here was a captain of a basketball team? And I raised my hand, and from then on, I was the dorm chief. So I had to learn how to make decisions for the greater good, and learn how to really be a part of a team in the military. I understood that being part of a high school team, but at the next level, where lives are at stake and making decisions, and that's what was a big takeaway for me in the military. I traveled. I was stationed in Oklahoma. My boot camp was in San Antonio, Texas. I was deployed twice, one to Russia, and then the second one, I was deployed to Iraq, and we did missions out there. So I've seen a few places, was out in Colorado for a little bit, and that's it. Yeah.
Well, definitely salute to you and the services that you gave our country. My cousin, Anthony Davis, he's been a lifer in the military. He's retired now.
Oh, no.
And I'd like to give a shout out to my cousin, Anthony Davis. Definitely.
Yeah, that's a good thing to retire from. That was my plan, but didn't happen that way. But I'm glad, because now, you know, I'm a teacher and coaching basketball. So this is the route I preferred.
Okay. You know, as I speak to a lot of different ballers up here, right? And we talk about that transition from basketball to real life. And in your situation, you went from basketball to the military to the real world. How was that transition for you?
It was hard because I felt like the military is so structured. And then coming into a world where I felt like there was not really that much structure, that was hard for me to cope with, because there's just so much structure and things that are done in a particular way. And then coming into a world where I felt like there wasn't as much structure, or not understanding the structure of organizations I worked for, that was tough. But what I learned there is what I'm trying to instill in whoever is put in my path, mainly the kids. But yeah, it was quite a transition. Sometimes I wish I was still there because everything's so structured. The accountability is real.
Right.
Here you kind of get a slap on the wrist. There it's
Tell me about it. Yeah.
There's no slap on the wrist. There's some real consequences to your actions and not following through. But it's a completely different world.
Okay. So how did you get into coaching?
You know, that was God's work. I was teaching. I don't even know how I got in. Well, I got into teaching because, you know, the military was paying for my school. So I was like, you know what, let me just go and get a degree. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I started off at BMCC. And from there, when I was graduating, I was like, well, they're still paying for my school. What do I do next? And then I was like, let me go. I liked sports. I played sports growing up. So let me go ahead and learn physical education. Then I took my first class, and my first anatomy class, and I failed it. And I was like, I just thought we were teaching kids how to play sports. Like, why I got to learn all this extra stuff?
Right.
But then, you know, when I graduated, got a job at, you know, where I coach now. First year, I was the assistant coach of the girls, and then the opportunity for the boys came up the following year. And that's how that kind of rolled in. It just kind of came to me.
Listen, let me tell you something. I experienced coaching girls for the first time, and even though it was a half, right? Let me just tell you a little story real quick. We were celebrating the life of my good friend Mo Kirby, who passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was over there filming and taking pictures, enjoying the game. One of the referees asked me, can I coach the second half, because the head coach had to leave. I was like, fine. So, going to coach the girls. And this team, they went down 5 points at halftime, but still a good team. Make a long story short, it was one of the best basketball experiences I ever had. Just for that one half, you know, and dealing with the different girl personalities, because I've been strictly male coach for like the last 20 years, okay? And until that point, I could say that I really started to really pay attention to women's basketball. I don't want to be biased, but until you in it and see it, you know, I enjoy watching it. But when I was coaching them girls at that moment, it just gave me such a euphoric feeling.
What was the difference?
Kind of like how you was introduced to basketball.
Yeah.
Coaching at first, yes.
What was the difference for you in boys versus girls? The main difference?
They listen. The first time. Right? They listened the first time. I didn't have to really reiterate myself too much. And the girls was freshmen and sophomores. And we wound up winning in overtime by 1 point.
Nice. Yeah.
So that was awesome.
I agree.
Yeah.
There's definitely a difference. There's more of a buy-in quickly with the girls.
Yeah.
With the boys, you have to push a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get back to you, right? Okay. What's the best part about coaching for you?
Kids believing in themselves in the end more. Just transforming the way they think about the game, you know, not just it being about basketball, just really applying to the rules of basketball. How can you apply that to real life? Helping kids understand that. That's really it for me. Just helping kids really understand, like, you're more than just a basketball player, like you're a human being first, and what can you do with the skills that you're learning belonging to a team? How can you apply that in the real world? So that's what I enjoy the most, seeing the transformation. They come in just to play ball, and then they go out just being a completely different person.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Those are some of the best moments.
Yeah,
The transformation part.
it's not even about the basketball skills aspect, and just them enjoying the game, going from it being competitive and, you know, the high stress level to seeing them now you can enjoy the game and really go out there and just enjoy it for what it is, enjoying the journey of transforming. That's what, you know, with that group that I won the championship with, that's what it was about with them, just watching them grow, from, you know, this is about me to this is about us and what can we do collectively as a team to get towards that.
Yeah, yeah, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And how long have you been coaching?
This is my 6th year, going into my 6th year. This year would be the 6th year. I don't know if there's going to be a season or not. So, yeah.
Breaking news. Breaking news. All right. So how was the competition level in the NYSAA Sports League?
It's different. It's different from, I took the kids to a tournament upstate, and I was just like, yeah, this is a different level of competition. It's competitive, but you know, there's just different levels to basketball. A lot of different levels to basketball, and I got hit with a 50-point loss when I went to that upstate tournament. But yeah, it's good competition overall. You know, just like any league, you get the teams that are great, that you really have to work hard for those wins, and then there's the other teams that, you know, it's a little bit easier, still competitive, but you know, this just like any other league, there's the competition that gives you a run for your money, and then there's, you know, the ones that, you know, you go out and play a good game.
Right. Okay. So what are some of the standards you have as a coach that your team must abide by?
Attitude is a big thing for me. But that's just transformational. I'm not going to get a kid that has a good attitude about everything. Right off the bat. Showing up and giving effort, and just giving your best every practice, and just giving your best every practice, and the effort and the attitude towards the game, the attitude towards practice, attitude towards your coaches and your teachers. So the intangible things with the game of basketball.
Okay. How many of your players has went on to go to college? You know, even if they didn't play basketball.
All of my players have gone on to play or to go to college. One thing that I'm working on as a coach is how can I get my players to now go and play at the next level. But you know, one time I mentioned to a player, like, you know, I wish I would have known early in my coaching career how to get you guys looks. And he told me, like, coach, you know, the most important thing was that you got us to go to college. So
yeah, I was trying to help that young man, that point guard from your school. At that time, I talked to his dad. I was like, yo, if you contact me, trust me, we know some people.
Yeah.
All over the country.
He's doing well now. He's in a nursing program.
Oh man.
Yeah, really
great.
Enjoying it. And he loves it. So he's doing really well for himself.
I knew whatever he was gonna do, whatever he did in life, he was gonna be successful because he had his mind right. You know, definitely.
Yeah. So he's doing really well for himself.
Okay. Well, we have a question by J8. It says, if you had advice for a young athlete who sees himself as being a coach one day, what will it be?
Study the game, one, and then work on communication skills, because there's all the information. You can know all the information in the world, but it's how you're going to get those athletes to understand what you're saying. You know, I used to be so focused on the terminology and all these plays and how do you call this type of offense, how do you call this type of defense, that it didn't matter if I didn't know how to communicate that to my athletes. So really working on communicating with your athletes and also building relationships. You have to build relationships first in order for those kids to buy in, because you can know it all, but how are you going to get those kids to buy into what you're trying to do? So studying the game, you know, knowing the in and outs, right, the basketball part of it, but then also learning how to deal with different personalities and learning how to communicate with those different type of personalities. I hope that answers your question.
No, that was definitely right on the money. Yeah. Who are some of the coaches you watch to improve your craft, or do you attend coaching camps?
I attend coaching camps. I do right now. You know, I've been doing a lot of Zoom stuff, but you know, Coach Shea has his Adam Street basketball clinic, which I learned a lot. There were so many good coaches there. I loved the Adelphi coach, Missy. Her presentation at that camp was so dope. And TJ Tibbs from CSI, you know, after that presentation, I try to watch his lives just to see how he thinks, you know, because he coaches at the college level, so I know like what to tell my players to expect at the next level. I love watching Gino from UConn. And who else? I just love watching coaches. I watch games for entertainment, but I like watching to see like decisions that coaches make, how they communicate with their players. So coaching clinics is what I love to do. But now, you know, they're all on Zoom. So
yeah,
the in-person experience part of it is missing, but you know, still learning.
Right.
But yeah, there's some good basketball clinics out there that are still going on with all of this happening right now virtually. So like watching that, but just like watching coaches and seeing how mainly they communicate with the athletes.
Yes.
We're dealing with so many different personalities. And it's like, how can you reach all those different personalities? So
it's amazing because I had Coach Norm Roberts on. He's at Kansas. Jamal Robinson, he's at LaSalle, and Terrence Rencher, who's at Creighton. And some of those same things, like the communication part and trust and building relationships with their kids, because you know these high-level programs and the kids don't buy into what they're doing, then they, as a coach, is looked at as a failure.
yeah,
Right. So those communication keys are very, very key.
yeah,
Definitely.
I've learned that it doesn't matter what you know, it's how can you get that information to these kids, because you know it's what they're able to retain and how can they put that into practice. So it's important.
Okay. Do you pay attention to what's going on in the PSAL and the Catholic School Leagues and all that?
Right now with everything happening, or just
I'm just talking about in general. Do you have an idea what's going on in other leagues and other schools?
PSAL mainly because I work in public school, but the Catholic School League, you know, I see what's going on social media, but not really in the mix of things. But PSAL, I have a direct contact with that because I work at a public school and working with those coaches and hearing what's going on in the leagues. But that's mainly it.
So what do you have any kind of perception of New York City basketball as a whole, as far as how is it doing compared to the rest of the nation?
I don't want to say like New York City basketball, like I don't want to say anything negative about it, because there's a lot of good players out here and good coaches and good programs. The difference I see is, you know, I just see basketball being more faster paced than anywhere else around the world. But the perception I have of New York City basketball, there's so many great players here. And I wish that players were more, they were told the truth about how things operate at the next level. You know, there's a lot of great basketball, like I said, but just being honest with the kids about the next level basketball that we see that's happening now here in New York. What we see happening with New York City basketball is not what happens at the next level. And learning how to be coached, different personalities, learning how to deal with different personality coaches. That's one thing I try to instill in my players. There's so many different personalities that we have to deal with as coaches. You may not like a coach, but you're going to have to learn how to, and just like in the regular world, you're going to have to learn how to deal with that personality and learn how to get along with that personality. And just really understanding that not everybody that you come in contact with, you're going to have a great relationship. It's just learning how to work with people in general. And I think that's what the game of basketball does, with working with teammates, different personalities. But just the perception of basketball, I think there's good basketball happening here. I think it's up and coming. I think the pandemic really put the focus on back to training versus constantly having to play games all weekend. I think the training aspect of basketball is coming back and really focusing on the fundamentals. But yeah, I don't want to say anything.
That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I try to explain to players that on every level, there's another level.
Yeah.
Right? So I use my guy, Terrence Rencher, because he was Mr. Basketball in New York City. Then he went to Texas and became Texas all-time leading scorer. Went in the first round. Mm-hmm. And had to start all over again.
Yeah.
Right? And at that point, mentally and emotionally, he was bothered by that because, again, I'm Mr. Basketball, and in college, I was all-time leading scorer. And it wasn't like he was doing that at rinky-dink school. He did it on a big-time level. Mm-hmm. Right? And at every level, you have to start over. And he had difficulty dealing with that transitional part. And he even said, it's not like I'm talking about it, but great examples for young people to understand that each level you have to transition into that next person that you have to become to be on that level.
Yeah.
And deal with those different personalities that come with that next level. Mm-hmm. Because when we talk about dollars and cents, it becomes a business.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what's getting those kids to understand that. I talk to Dwayne from the league all the time, and he always says, like, there's levels to this. There's different levels to this, and having those kids understand that, like, you're good here, right? But then at the next level, you have to start from the bottom and work your way back up, to that. So I think it's just having those kids understand that and just being honest about kids and their game. I think we baby our athletes too much, and just being raw and real about their game is important for them to understand. Like, what you're doing now is not going to work when you get to the next level. You have to do just a little bit more to improve.
Definitely. And my guy, Coach John Arnold, he coached at Lou High, and he goes, forgot the coach. I think he runs Long Island Lightning. His name is Gary Charles. Gary Charles tells kids who come out to try for his AAU team, come as you are and not who you want to be, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're trying out for a team and you want to, your strong points is going to the hole, but you want to show everybody you can shoot a 3-point shot, mm-hmm. right? You got to go with what your strengths are until you make it to that next level and got those things mastered. I think sometimes we try our new things at those important moments where we need to go back to our game and our strengths that made us get to that level.
Yeah.
So definitely good quotes. What are some of your who are some of your favorite players that come out of New York City? Ever.
I'm trying to think. I really can't
Well, we
say.
got 5 or 3.
Are males or
Both. Any. If we can go anywhere on this one. Yes.
I can't really think of any right now. I need your help with this one.
Okay. All right. We're gonna do this for 1 second. All right. You can think about it for 1 second.
Yeah.
All right. You got guys like Kenny Anderson, Stephon Marbury, Ross Strickland.
Stephon Marbury, what he's doing right now in China.
Epiphany Prince.
Huh?
Epiphany Prince, Shamika Holslaw.
Yeah, those names.
Just to name a few.
Huh?
I said just to name a few.
Yeah, there's a lot. I can't, like I said, New York, me following basketball,
Right.
Growing up, like wasn't, like I said earlier, I wish I would have taken it as serious and following these players,
Right.
and what they did after leaving New York City. But like with Stephon Marbury, I know, I've played in a few of his tournaments and growing up, and what he's doing. Hold
on. You played out in Coney Island?
Yeah, just for a summer. Hey,
that's dope. We had to make some noise for that. Good job.
Just for a summer.
All right.
But that's it. That was it for that. Like I said, I wish, I would have taken basketball just a little bit more seriously and followed it growing up, because it wasn't really, to follow a basketball player now is easy, right. Social media, but back then we didn't have any of that. And like I said, growing up for me, it was just playing for fun and doing something. So yeah, to answer that question, does that make me a what do you call it? A basketball
head.
It doesn't make me a basketball head.
That's we getting there. We getting there. But you doing great on the interview and definitely great on the advice part. So here's some more advice, all right, that you can give out. Can you give some advice to a kid who may not be recruited, right, by a lot of colleges and feel like giving up on the game? Because even though you didn't play college ball, your love for the game never went away. So what can you say to that person who feel like, giving up on the game?
You just have to continue working on your craft and finding the right people to surround yourself with, because you could be surrounded by so many people that play ball, but they're not pointing you in the right direction, or they're not being honest with you about your game and saying you're the greatest, but you're not. Just someone to really break down your game and give you feedback, and that's going to ride it out with you. That's going to find you maybe a good team to play for, where you can get your reps in, and just finding a good circle around you. It's important, and knowing what you're good at, right? And then finding places where you can improve on, because it's tough. Like this basketball world is tough. There's so many kids going for that one spot, that it sometimes makes it hard to get on a good team or get recruited. So just not giving up if it's truly what you want to do. Also analyzing, am I doing this because I enjoy belonging to a team, or am I really doing this because I love the game of basketball? Because I think that's something too. A lot of kids just love belonging to a team, and that they're not really doing it because they love the game. And if you love the game, you're just gonna keep going after it. You know, when I was watching the Last Dance documentary, Scottie Pippen, like he didn't give up. He didn't get recruited, you know, but he still just kept going after it. And then you never know when the opportunity is going to arise, when you're up next and you have to be able to perform. So if this is truly what you want to do and you've analyzed yourself and you said, you know, do I love this or I just love belonging to a team? Because there's some kids, you know, over coaching all these years, I've realized that some kids just like belonging to a team. They don't really like the hard work that goes into it, the sacrifice that comes into it. So really analyzing yourself and saying, is this what I want to do? And then working towards it, because you just never know when it's going to be your time to come. So just analyzing yourself and see, is this really what I want to do? Because there's sacrifice that goes into it. So
let me tell you something. I know what it's like to just want to be on a team and be a part of the team. Mm-hmm. When I first started playing sports, played baseball, first game, my friend gets hit in the eye. I saw his eye quit. Second sport, so like going out for the football team, right? I was 5'8", 150 pounds, trying out for the offensive line. But I just wanted a jersey, enough, put some dirt on my pants to say I was a part of a team. Mm-hmm. Right? Now, be careful for what you ask for. The next year, I had enough confidence to go out for the position that I wanted to go out for, and that was quarterback. Again, I was only going to play quarterback because I knew I was going to be third string. Mm-hmm. This is very true. Got there, the starting quarterback wanted to play tight end, so he quit his being quarterback, so I went from being third string to second string. Mm. First game of the season, we in Philadelphia, we're losing 21-0. My coach said, just start in the second half. I said, no, I'm not. I don't have a helmet. Because not only I joined the team, I made sure I didn't buy a helmet. So when it came time for me to play, he couldn't put me in. I already had this thought out. Because remember, I just wanted to be part of the team. Mm-hmm. My coach got me somebody else's helmet that fit.
Oh, wow. So what happened?
Got in the game. First play from scrimmage. First pass. He said he wanted to go for a ball for a touchdown and get us back in the game. And that's exactly what I did. My first pass ever was a touchdown.
Nice. Okay.
We wound up, make a long story short, we wound up losing the game 21-20, but it was a good moral victory because the year before we got blown out. And we only lost by 1 point. Came back to the city. I became the starting quarterback, and we went on, I think it was 27-0, something like that, 25-0. We didn't lose a game. Went to the championship.
Nice.
Yeah, and I like to show this off. Hold on.
Oh,
it's old and dusty. It's old and dusty, but this is what I won. I won the Heisman Trophy back then.
Nice. Look at that. Look, you just went to participate and you got a trophy out of it.
Yes. Right. I just went to go participate. Now, the story gets even better because I go to Lincoln to play football. The guy who I was going to Lincoln for, my running back who played on my team, where we won a championship, he was a year ahead of me. He went to Lincoln. By the time I got to Lincoln, he transferred because he got into a fight with some guys from Coney Island. Mm. So now I'm stuck in Lincoln playing JV. I don't really know anyone, just playing to be playing. And my friends who I ride the train with says, Glenn, we going to basketball practice. I'm going, for what? They don't have a JV. Just like, yeah, I know, but we still going now. I'm going, bro, don't you see that? They're number one in the state. We're not going to make it. Mm-hmm. I'm going out with guys. Maybe one or two are probably a little bit better than me. They get cut, I make it. Mm. changed the trajectory of my life.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, that worked out for you. That just, you know, being a part of a team, and then now you're a big factor in the team. So.
Well, yes, because I think for the simple fact, because I kept going back, even though I didn't really want to play. I wanted to play, but I didn't have the confidence. But once my coach talked me into it, my coach put the battery in my back, and once I did that touchdown, it was a wrap. Like, I knew something special was going to happen for me in sports if I just keep at it.
That was your destiny.
Yes.
Was your destiny. Good.
So, okay. Now let's talk about that fateful day in 2017. Oh, God. People, if y'all didn't hear me in the intro, yes, the team that she beat, or Bklyn Prospect beat in 2017 in the NYSAA Championship game was the Martin DePorres Monarchs. Yours truly. Yes. Yes. Okay. Now, well-deserved game, well played, well coached. Even though my guys kind of fell apart at the end, but you guys played a hell of a game.
Yeah.
How did you feel knowing that this is going to be the school first championship, you know, yours, coaching? What was going through your mind at that moment?
Finally, like, finally, that's what I thought. But it was definitely a long journey. Had you saw what led up to that, you would have been like, oh, wow. Okay. The first time, you know, I coached that team, we had a great season, only lost one game, first round of the playoffs, done. Second season, same thing, lost 3 games, first round of the playoffs, done. Every tournament, I played with that team for a long time. So every tournament, we'll make it to the finals, and then just we wouldn't win the championship. So then that was just like, finally, like, you know, we've been working hard for the past 3 years.
Right.
And it finally happened for us. And that was my worst season yet. That I think we lost like 6 games. I was like, we don't do this. Like, even the boys were like, we don't lose games. Like, what? But I think those losses really just changed how, had we not had those losses, I think we still would have had the big head, like we're winning games, and, you know, there was no humbling moment. So those losses really played a big part in us winning that championship. So it was definitely like even one of the kids that graduated and played for me before, the first thing he was like, you know, finally, coach, you know, because we've been working for that. The first year we thought we were going to get it. Second year we thought we were going to get it. And then, you know, he came to watch. You know, he went to a prep school, but he came to watch, and he was just like, finally, coach, like, you know. So it was a beautiful moment because you know, those group of boys were with me for a long time. You know, I was their teacher first. And then I became their coach. So it was definitely a special moment that year. Yeah.
Being 5th seed, I see Dwayne saying 5th seed that year. Yeah. I think it was our 3rd time going to the championship in that league. We went 3 years in a row and lost all 3 years. Definitely. But for us, it was a great time because before that, we had won championship with a group of guys who we had for a very long time, and they rolled out together from freshmen, sophomores, and they senior year finally won it. So that was a great thing.
It definitely makes a difference when you've been with the team for a long time and you've learned each other, you hang out with each other outside of practice. All of that stuff makes a difference. And we were together for 3+ years. You know, like I said, prior to that, I was their teacher, and that school is so small that togetherness makes a difference when you're going out there and trying to win games, and the camaraderie that you have within each other. Yeah, it's definitely a big deal.
Well, I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Definitely for all the things that you accomplished thus far. And I don't know where it goes from here as far as you coaching, but listen, great coach. And I know one day the whole city gonna know your name. All right? So just keep doing what you're doing and keep me in tune, you know, as far as what you're gonna be doing the next couple of years as far as on the basketball side.
I will.
We don't want to let too many things out right now.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you having me on here. Definitely a pleasure, and thank you for representing the women.
No doubt.
I see you doing that this week. Definitely a big deal, women in sports.
Yes.
Now. And the representation and you giving the platform for women is important.
Yeah, I want to try to keep this thing balanced, you know, because I know all the guys, you know, they're arm distance away, but getting a female presence here is very important to basketball heads and myself and what we're trying to do over here.
Yeah, definitely important for us. The representation matters. So
definitely. Yes. I'm gonna keep that in mind. So now you get a chance to, you know, nominate someone else, and it could be a woman if you want. Okay. You know, whoever comes in the show, have to nominate someone to get in the show.
Does it have to be a New Yorker, or it can be anybody?
Preferably be somebody from New York.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
All right. So do I got to say that now, or?
If you have it now, if not, you can just hit me up later. That's all good.
Yeah, I got to think about this one. I'm trying to. It could be male or female, right?
It could be male or female.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Coach Marsala.
Okay.
From Northside. I think that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Thank you for that, Dwayne.
Yes, that's a good one. Definitely.
She's definitely.
No, she's solid. She's solid. Yes,
so
yes.
Every game I've coached against her, it's like, oh man, she's now. She's making yeah. So definitely her. Reach out to her. Yeah. She's played college ball too.
Yes, I know. This is good. This is good. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one. So come on, hit me up, and we'll make that happen.
All right, cool. All right, thank you so much.
All right, hold on. No, we good? We good? All right, cool. I just want everybody to know our show is sponsored by Game Over. Yes, Game Over. The Star Dome. Eric Hicks.
Oh, I love him over there.
Yes, that's my guy.
I used to play tournaments over there with my guys.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
You ready?
What? Oh, that's so dope.
Oh, look at the hair. Whoa, look at the hair. That's dope. Look at the coach.
Can I have that?
Yes, this is yours. This is why we doing it.
Oh, when can I pick that up? I love that. Wow. I appreciate that. That is so dope. Look at that hair. Okay. Okay. I love it. Wow.
Yes.
So dope. So dope. You got the music playing. I like that. I gotta come get that.
Thank you. We definitely gonna be moving to YouTube soon. Whole different look. I think people are gonna be surprised. But look forward to it. I'll definitely be letting everybody know. But thank you. I appreciate it.
You. Have a great evening. Thank you for having me on here again. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
All right.